Fans are in total shock, and social media has completely exploded after rumors spread overnight claiming Mona Scott has secretly pulled the plug on Love and Hip Hop. The buzz is that she's working on a brand new reality show, and if the reports are true, this new project is more intense and dramatic than anything she's ever done before. Insiders say the situation got messy fast. Tension started brewing between Mona and some of the most well-known cast members: Rashida, Kirk Frost, Mendices, and Yandy Smith. What started as private concerns turned into a screaming match on set. Rashida reportedly clashed with Mona. Over creative decisions, Kirk stormed out, and Mendices supposedly called the entire production a trap. As for Yandy, she was left heartbroken. She claimed she had no idea this was happening and ended up in tears after a heated argument with Mona. Fans are now demanding answers, and cast members aren't staying quiet. Instead of clear statements, though, they've been posting vague and emotional messages online, sparking even more confusion and theories. Everyone wants to know what this mystery project is. And did Mona really scrap Love and Hip Hop for it? At first, no one believed the talk. People brushed it off, thinking it was just another fake story that would fade. But by the weekend, something felt different. Cast members who usually posted behind-the-scenes photos were suddenly silent. Even the production team stopped sharing their usual content from the set. Then came the moment that changed everything. Mona Scott was seen leaving a private studio in Atlanta with a team of producers that weren't connected to Love and Hip Hop. That sighting sent shockwaves through the fan base. According to insiders, Mona wasn't just creating something new. She was planning to fully replace Love and Hip Hop with an entirely different show. And the worst part? The original cast didn't even know. Rashida was among the first to feel something was wrong. She'd been trying to get updates about filming, but producers gave her the runaround. Delayed schedules, vague answers, and no solid updates. Kirk, suspicious himself, pushed one of the assistant producers for real information. That's when things started unraveling. The assistant allegedly let it slip that Mona had been meeting with new talent and checking out filming locations unrelated to Love and Hip Hop. Kirk told Rashida, and the two started connecting the dots. Missed meetings, missing scripts, and wardrobe sessions canceled at the last minute. Something big was clearly happening, and none of it looked good. At the same time, Mendices and Yandy were dealing with their own confusion. They had flown from New York expecting to start filming, only to be told the studio was under renovation. That didn't make sense. They had filmed there not long ago without any issues. Feeling frustrated, Yandy called one of the producers she trusted, but got no response. No texts, no calls. It felt like the entire crew had disappeared without notice. Yandy started to panic. Her career and brand were tied to Love and Hip Hop. Losing that platform with no warning could ruin everything she'd worked so hard to build. Eventually, the tension reached a breaking point when Mona called a sudden meeting in Atlanta. Only a few cast members were invited, which raised a lot of eyebrows. Despite the short notice, Kirk, Rashida, Mendices, and Yandy all showed up. From the moment it started, the atmosphere was icy. Mona walked in with a new production crew, all wearing black, and didn't waste any time. She began talking about how reality TV needed to evolve, how people were looking for something more authentic and less scripted. That's when Rashida interrupted her. She reportedly stood up and asked, "So what are we? Fake now?" The room went quiet. Mona tried to calm things down, but Kirk wasn't having it. He accused Mona of using their personal stories for fame and then turning her back on them. Yandy, clearly emotional, couldn't hold back tears. Mendices stayed quiet but looked furious. Then Mona dropped the real bomb. She confirmed that Love and Hip Hop was on an indefinite break. She said her new project was called Real Roots, a series centered on rising Black entrepreneurs and influencers. She insisted it would focus more on legacy and less on drama, but the cast wasn't buying it. They knew that Mona's version of less drama still meant plenty of conflict, just without them in the picture. Yandy completely broke down, saying she had opened up every part of her life for the show, only to be left behind without any notice. Mona didn't say much, letting her speak, but her face reportedly showed no emotion. What happened next turned the meeting from tense to explosive. Kirk stood up and slammed his hand on the table. He told Mona she built her career off their pain and was now throwing them away. One of Mona's new producers apparently stepped in and told Kirk to watch his tone. That was the final straw. Mendices got up and confronted the producer directly. Voices were raised, tempers flared, and security had to step in. Rashida held Kirk back while Yandy tried to stop Mendices from going further, but the damage was already done. This wasn't just a business change. It felt personal. After the meeting fell apart, the cast went their separate ways, but the drama kept building. Yandy posted a black image on Instagram with the caption, "Royalty has an expiration date." Rashida tweeted, "Funny how success makes people forget who helped them climb." Fans were confused at first, then furious. They flooded Mona's social media pages, demanding to know the truth. Was Love and Hip Hop really over? What was this new show? Why was the original cast completely left out? Soon, rumors started flying. Some people said Rashida and Yandy were working on their own reality show to respond to being cut out. Others claimed Mendices was planning a tell-all interview to reveal everything that had been going on. Meanwhile, Kirk was reportedly leaking behind-the-scenes footage from earlier seasons, hinting at things fans had never seen. The internet went wild. Every clip, every tweet, every hint became fuel for more theories. It was clear that this wasn't just about a show ending. It felt like the fall of an entire reality TV empire. And at the center of it all was Mona Scott, the same woman fans once praised for creating a space for raw and emotional storytelling. Now she was being accused of betraying the very people who helped her build it all. But Mona didn't say a word. She didn't respond to the backlash. She didn't defend herself or explain her decision. She simply kept working on her new project, quietly moving forward like none of the controversy mattered. Yet the uproar wasn't going away. It was only getting louder. Insiders eventually leaked even more details. Apparently, Mona had been planning Real Roots for months and had already secured funding from a big streaming platform. That explained the secrecy. She couldn't say anything until the deal was final. And now that it was, she was ready to launch, regardless of who got hurt. Reports said the new cast had already started filming in Atlanta and Houston. Some big names were supposedly involved in the pilot episode. That only made things worse for the old cast. Not only had they been left out, they'd been replaced. Then came another twist. Someone close to the production leaked a voice recording of a heated conversation between Mona and a network executive. In the clip, a woman believed to be Mona can be heard saying, "I don't owe them anything. I made them stars. They should be thanking me." Mona was starting to lose control. She was stressed, the streaming platforms were getting uneasy, and sponsors for her new show were asking tough questions. Then the worst happened. Someone leaked early footage from the pilot of Real Roots, and fans were not impressed. The response was flat. Without the intense drama and unforgettable personalities from Love and Hip Hop, the new show felt like a hollow copy. It looked good on the surface, but something was missing. Now Mona was stuck. The very cast she had once worked closely with, and now pushed aside, were threatening to ruin everything. Even more troubling, some of them had information that could damage her reputation for good. We're talking about old secrets, unseen footage, and actual receipts that could make people see Mona in a whole new light. One producer, who knew what was going on behind the scenes, reportedly warned her, "Make peace with them, or everything could fall apart." Meanwhile, a private meeting was happening without Mona. Kirk, Rashida, Yandy, and Mendices gathered in a lounge in Atlanta to talk about what to do next. Some of them wanted to go public and tell everything. Kirk felt like they owed the truth to their fans. Rashida was caught in the middle. She still had friends in production. Yandy, always strategic, had another idea. "We don't have to destroy everything," she said. "Let's create something new that they can't take away from us." Mendices agreed. It was time to take control of their own stories. No more edited scenes, no more being told what to say or do. For the first time since the chaos began, they didn't feel defeated. They felt motivated. They didn't need Mona's platform. They had each other. They decided to stay quiet for now, work behind the scenes, and make their move when the time was right. But outside that private meeting, things were heating up fast. Fans were demanding answers. TV networks were calling, and gossip blogs were dropping one explosive story after another. The situation wasn't calming down. It was getting worse. Then came another shock. An anonymous message was sent to several popular gossip sites, especially ones with insider connections. It included a screenshot from a group chat between new cast members of Real Roots. One person in the chat complained, saying, "This isn't what I signed up for. It's boring. They want fake drama, but it's not working." Another replied, "I miss the real Love and Hip Hop energy. This feels fake." That screenshot spread like wildfire. Within minutes, fans were tearing the new show apart, and it hadn't even officially aired yet. The early footage, the new cast's complaints, and the fan backlash created a storm Mona couldn't handle. And then Scrappy, a former cast member, jumped into the drama. He hadn't said much since the original show was canceled, but now he went live on Instagram. He joined Rashida, Kirk, and even Mama D to speak directly to fans. "They forgot who made the show big," Scrappy said. "We gave them everything: pain, love, heartbreak. Now they're replacing us with people who don't even have real issues. That's disrespect." Mama D shouted in the background, "I'm the queen of the South. They can't erase me." Over 70,000 people tuned into the live session, and the support was loud. Fans were calling for a boycott of the new show. At the same time, behind the scenes, things kept getting worse. One original Love and Hip Hop Atlanta producer was thinking about breaking their NDA to reveal what they called 10 years of lies and financial mistreatment. In an anonymous message, They claimed cast members were misled about pay, contracts were secretly changed, and personal stories were edited to make them look bad. They didn't care about us, the message said. They cared about ratings. And once you stopped bringing numbers, they pushed you out. That claim fired up the old cast even more. Kirk and Rashida reportedly contacted the producer to talk about turning all this into a documentary. The goal? To finally tell their side of the story, raw and uncensored. Yandy and Mendices were interested too. They started checking with legal experts to make sure they wouldn't get into trouble for speaking out. It was risky, but the chance to reclaim their truth made it worth it.